My name is Dawoon Kang. I am one of the three co-founders of Coffee Meets Bagel. I am in charge of all the marketing and partnership and business development. Coffee Meets Bagel is all about championing the dating experience for women. The way the service works is every day at noon, we actually provide differentiated service for men and women. If you are a guy, if you're a straight guy, our smart algorithm curates you up to 21 matches, which we call bagels a day. And the curation is based on a lot of different factors such as your social network, your demographic background, your interests, and your like or pass history. And you can choose to like or pass on the bagels you receive. If you're a lady, if you're a straight woman, then we actually give you up to 6 bagels a day, but we prioritize showing bagels who already liked you. So you don't have to waste time on guys who might not have been interested, and you don't have to play frustrating guessing games where you have to wait for somebody to find out if they liked you or not. You can choose to connect and start chatting with a bagel that you like right away. And the reason why we actually chose to service people, men and women, differently is because we learned over time that men and women have just very different way of dating, and we really wanted to make sure that we service our ladies in a way that they in a style that they want to date. We look at a number of factors. First and foremost is the number of singles in that particular place, city or country. We obviously need a large concentration of singles in order for our service to thrive, because that means large market. And we particularly look at Facebook users because Coffee Meets Bagel, you have to authenticate through Facebook. So we looked at that. We also looked at number of user base, our current users who have friends in certain cities, and how many friends they have. And obviously the larger that network is better for us because that means more of our users can tell their friends about it. We also looked at or thought about, hey, what are some countries where we think we wouldn't really need to do any product customization because the way that they date is similar to the things that are done in the US, because we didn't want to put in too much resources around customization. Some of the market that fit into all 3 categories were cities such as Hong Kong, Sydney, Singapore, etc., etc. So we went to those markets first. The reason why I chose Taiwan is because we wanted to venture into a market that is not English speaking, and of all the markets that we considered, Taiwan kind of came up in one of the top 5s for all those 3 criteria. So honestly, we've only made translation change. There is no product change that came with Taiwan launch. It's just purely translating what was there in English. I think it's to be seen whether or not we actually need to do some product tweaking. And I think we'll be able to find that out once the app is fully functional. I think a lot of it is luck. I think you have to actually find partners that need something at a particular timing. I don't think we did anything differently per se. We've been rejected from a lot of different brands, and you know, but then we've been like enthusiastically been accepted. I guess, if lack of better words, or ended up working with brands that actually are very similar in size, but you know, at a particular timing, they were thinking about singles and dating and whatnot. So I think time is a big one. The other thing is, you know, think about how you actually utilize or capitalize on the existing resources you have. So for example, I think user base, your users, is a great resource. And so what was great about Coffee Meets Bagel is that we had a lot of talented young professionals who really loved Coffee Meets Bagel, and they were willing to help us. And so a lot of them actually approached us, hey, I work in so-and-so. I think it'll be great for, you know, us to partner out. What do you think? And so utilizing your user base is one. I think also utilizing timing that is really good for you. So for example, a lot of partnership that we did around Valentine's Day, because that's when a lot of brands think about love, relationship, dating, being single. And so that's when we actually put in a lot of resources around doing active outreach. Hey, do you want to do something for Valentine's Day? They're more likely to listen to us because that's kind of on top of their mind. If you notice, we only did that in new markets. And in new markets, I'm just experimenting different launch strategy. I think college is not a very big sector for us, user base for us, but it's an interesting place because being on campus with large concentration of people around your age who are mostly single, that's kind of a very fertile ground for viral growth and a lot of word of mouth. If you actually if you actually have a product market fit with college crowd. I wasn't, definitely in the US we don't. I wasn't really sure and wanted to test out if in Asian markets where I think theoretically the idea is that people think about relationship earlier in their life. And so I wanted to test that concept in Singapore. I wanted to test that in Taiwan to see if it actually works as a launch strategy. I think it's kind of TBD as to if that's if we want to continue that or not. Honestly, I don't think the fact that our product is all about servicing women has a ton of bearing actually on like the hiring criteria. I mainly look for a few things. One is somebody who's passionate about making a difference, right? And a lot of times people in that category, a lot of times they don't really feel particular like pull into certain verticals. Some do, like some people are just particularly passionate about dating. But I mean, me, for example, I didn't start dating company because I always thought about dating. I really just wanted to make a positive impact on a lot of people's lives, like at a large scale. And I thought that dating is great because what other ways can you actually really transform someone's life in a bigger way that is like besides helping somebody find their lifetime partner, right? And in that way, it's really gratifying. And so that's what pulled me into dating. It wasn't like dating itself. And so I think as long as people are driven by hey, I really want to make a positive impact on people's lives, that's the one category that I look at, not particularly like I'm excited about dating for a woman. Other things that I look at, what's really important in our culture is two things. We really want to make sure we recruit people who buy into the possibilities that we're trying to create within the Coffee Meets Bagel team. And those possibilities are, one, everyone feels empowered to drive their ideas, and a lot of initiatives is driven by individual, like projects just come up because people are just driving changes. So I want I want to recruit people who are very proactive, takes initiative, and like often they are the catalyst of changes. So because we want to fortify that culture. The second thing is I really am looking for somebody who is really committed to team member success at an individual level and at a team level. I'm really looking for a team player. Well, I think what does it mean to be a team player? It's not like you just do what being nice to teams and being smiling. I don't think that's actually being a team player means. What it means to be a team player is always thinking about your team's need even before your own. Standing for the team. Like I think small example is like when I always actually tell people, hey, like in our team meetings, there are people dialing in remotely, and sometimes people just forget to speak up or change their volume so that people remotely can actually hear clearly. I actually think that's not a team player thing. Like it's inconsiderate for your team player if you actually engage in that kind of behavior, because you're depriving of another team member of an opportunity to participate fully in a meeting. And so I really want everyone at Coffee Meets Bagel to be thinking about team first and how my actions actually impact my team and how I can actually stand for their success. So that's really important for me. I think I'm just generally impressed with the startup culture here. I think it's really great that it seems like the government is putting a lot of investment into fostering startup culture, which is great. I think what I also am really impressed with is how willing people are about, helping, people like me who they don't really know we've met for the first time, but a lot of people are very generous with their time, a lot of generous with their intros. And I think that kind of mentality, like just helping each other out, that's really something very special. So I've been really impressed by that. One thing I also observed is that that's different from any other markets that I've been to, and that includes other Asian markets like Hong Kong and Singapore. I find just in general, I'm not specifically talking about startup. I think Taiwan people that I've kind of encountered so far tend to be a little shyer. I noticed, yeah. Then and what I mean by that is, it feels like they're very careful about how they express themselves, and so that actually has been interesting, and I think that's actually a good lesson for me, because as we gather more user feedback, I'm going to have to talk to a lot of people in Taiwan, and I think it would require a different style of communication to really get out like an honest information out of them. I think for those startups particularly wanting to expand globally, I think what's great about today's world is that we've just become so much more connected with everyone around the world. And it's a lot easier than you might think to find somebody who knows somebody in Silicon Valley that you want to reach out to. I think as long as you have you're proactive about locating those people, you just put in the work to identify people you want to be in touch with. And you put in the work to come up with great questions or great areas you actually need help on. And you start asking people like, hey, I'm really looking for this particular ABC and I really want to talk to this guy in Silicon Valley. I think given that from what I experienced, people here are so willing to help each other, the chances are you'll be able to get to them through like friends of friends and people who they know, and you just have to go and ask them. It's a challenge, but it's a challenge that probably is easier than you might think. I've come here and spoken to a lot of people, and I'm a great resource, I think, that you could also reach out to. I can't help you directly, but obviously I know a lot of people in the valley, and I'm happy to help or connect you with somebody that you might need.